My name is Unimportant, and I'll tell you why. We're all familiar with the notion that women are simply adult children. I really couldn't say I heard that when it was commensurate with my experience. This past weekend, I experienced it in ways that I could not ignore. It got so bad at one point that I rehearsed a few ways in which I could tell my girlfriend we needed to stop seeing each other so much. I had my son for the weekend. I like having him over, because it feels like if I'm going to be made poor by court-invented debt, I may as well have something to show for it. It is difficult, however, doing 3 weeks of single mother parenting in a single weekend or more, depending on how busy I am. My son is already 7, but clearly acts like a baby whenever he believes it will benefit him. When things are too heavy, or he doesn't want to throw anything away, he will hand them to the nearest adult. His maturity is clearly being stalled at an early age because of his mother, his home life, and the public school, or should I say government-subsidized daycare. I say all of this to point out my girlfriend does the exact same thing to me when I remind her of certain responsibilities that she views as unpleasant. I am constantly expected to drive her places or accompany her on her adult chores to keep her from feeling alone or vulnerable. That doesn't sound outrageous or unreasonable, except when she does it without even trying to sound reasonable. This same weekend, I was going to drop off my son, and she wanted to come along. She happened to mention that she needed an oil change in her car, but she didn't know when she would be able to do it. She had gone out to get a kitchen utensil just the day prior, and now, with our Sunday sunlight running out, she started chirping, "Woe is me." I told her that she had plenty of time to do it, but she could skip riding along with me and my son. She instantly flipped into what I would call my son's disability mode, but instead of pretending to collapse from the weight of a bag of toys, she verbally and emotionally collapsed at the thought of having any sort of autonomy in her life. I tried my best to ignore the obvious parallel and suggested we drop her car off and she ride most of the way with us. She was delighted at my workaround for her selfish emotions and looked up closing times nearby. But since she had waited until Sunday, they were inconvenient. I told her we would never make it back before closing times, but that she should still go herself. She repeated the excuse, "I'm not waiting at an oil change station by myself." I had no idea I was addressing the Princess of the United States, and I should have dropped to my knees begging her forgiveness that I ever thought she might do something for herself. It was blowing my mind. She ended up not doing it, but we still had to stop multiple times on our way home because she couldn't remember the second of 2 ingredients we needed for dinner that night. It was a level of incompetence that I can only suspect was intentional, because she knows, first of all, how much I hate driving, and second, she knows how to read have to wonder now if she likes me to drive her everywhere, not because she wants or needs anything from me, but so she can be sure I'm miserable wherever I am going. Do you all see how there is no winning as a man in Western civilization? You are doomed to loneliness if you stay single, and the only option is to try to find a woman who only makes you want to die every so often. It's sad but true. I have met a number of female lawyers in my careers who are capable at any time of slipping into their female ways. Female lawyers may actually be the worst. As soon as they detect you might not think they are better than you, or that they think that you know exactly what they are trying to pull, they become furious. You can hear it in their voices, and the younger they are, the worse their reactions. If you're like me, you had no examples in your own life about how childlike women will behave for manipulative gain. I say treat yourself to a lesson that you will never forget. That is, if you can't learn lessons the easy way. I have learned lessons the hard way all my life, especially with women. I wish I could learn the easy way. Although the important thing is that the lesson is learned. And that is why my name is Unimportant.